Morning guys, 8:45, and as promised I was going to give you a live video and give you a tour of our Somerley Estate, which is our Ringwood site, which is based just outside of Ringwood and just outside of Verwood. The idea of the talk today is to give you a breakdown of the estate and the site that we use, and to also give you an understanding of how we use the estate and manage the sessions to suit everyone. So I'm currently stood in our car park. Okay, so my car parked up already. As you enter the entrance, you'll see this shelter, shall we call it. Okay, and you come down from the track, which is 1 mile, and we come in. This is where we start. We always start in here. Warm-ups, a little bit of a chat. It's a bit of a social thing as well. And we've also got use of other parts of the estate. We've actually got about 500 acres that we can use. We don't use it all the time. A lot of it we can just walk between. Some of it's not usable at all. So that is the car park. Now we're actually going to go on a walk around now, okay? And I'm going to start to introduce you to different parts of the estate and how and what why we use them, what we use them for. So coming out of the car park, this is one of the ways that we will go, and it takes us onto our first looped run. Now this over here is called Bog Run. Okay, it's one of the runs that I use, and I use it with other runs. So we will have smaller runs, larger runs, depending on who we have attending. Now this hill, we're going a bit backwards here, but this hill here is the hill that we use, and it's Joe's Hill. Ironically, it's not named actually after me, it's named after a member which basically adopted it and bullied people into doing it to finish every session. I quite liked that, so I took it on board. And now, after every session, as long as the members are happy to and able to, injury-wise, we finish on this this hill. Now, the bog run is matched up with the mini bog run. So depending on your fitness levels, we might be doing a little bit of a hit session in the car park. That segment will finish. Could have done a 7 or 8 minute hit session, and then I'll send people off onto runs. So one of them might be the bog run, and that will be for more able-bodied members who enjoy their running, doing well with their running, and they want to push themselves. Then we'll come back a stage, and there might be somebody who's introducing themselves to some extra running. We'll have the mini bog run, and the mini bog run is, as you can imagine, smaller, but it's smaller by about half. It's probably half the distance. And as you can imagine, with the name Mini Bog Run, it's going to be quite boggy. So Mini Bog Run's down here. Now, so the bog run was where we were before. People will run off and they'll start looping themselves literally right around the estate. Mini Bog Run covers half the distance. So we have 2 sets of runs, depending on your fitness levels. I then have an even smaller run, if needs be, coming from the car park. Now it's called reverse P run. I kind of have to adopt so people understand. Before we talk about the reverse P run, we've got Brick Hill. Now Brick Hill is longer and not as steep as Joe's Hill. So if I don't want to put people onto runs, I can actually put them onto one of these 2 hills. So we have Joe's Hill and we have Brick Hill. Now depending on your fitness levels, I'll be going to people, right, you're going to go and do 5 hills. You have 4 hills, 3 hills, 2 hills. Okay, today's your first session and you're going to do 1 hill. They all go and use the hill, and they all work to their ability. If somebody's not ready for hills, then they'll stay with me and we'll go through some rehabilitation work, or they'll stay with me and we'll go through some power walking, or we'll be introducing some light jogs on the flat, which we can do anywhere, because most of the hills are dotted around the estate, and they can be used between flat runs. So I'm coming up now what we've kind of adopted as Route Hill, and it's a small gradual hill, a bit more of a trail, but it's part of our reverse P run. So you have mini bog, you'll have bog run, mini bog run, reverse P run. So that's 3 different levels. You have a 4th level with just stay back in the car park and introduce some flat running. And that way, suddenly within one session, I have 4 or 5 opportunities to work people with the different runs. So, the reverse P run works through one of our flat areas. I'm going to see if I can flip the camera now. Yes, I can. So this here is our ridge. Okay. And on the ridge, we have space in here, look for flat work and core work. Flat area, so we can do core work, strength work. We use the trees for tricep extensions. We've got the floor work, we can do press-ups, core work. But what's great about being up here is that when I'm on here, I've got probably 5 or 6 different options to work people. I'm gonna come out the sun. And that is, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different routes. And all of them have a gradual increase. So if I have somebody, again, who's working really well, I could pop them onto the longest run from here, all running from here. And then I've got 3 progressions coming backwards right down to a very small, probably 60-metre loop, with the largest probably being a 700 or 800-metre loop. So the person who is introducing themselves to the exercise, it might be their first session, I'm gauging what they can and can't do, they'll be on that 60-metre run. And if necessary, they can walk it and power walk it, right through to the others who are running an 800-metre run, and they're trying to finish it in the same time. And that way, if I stagger them off at the right pace, they will all eventually come back together. So from that sense, we are able to cater the session to suit all who are attending, right from somebody to their first session up to somebody who's been training with us for years. And with that, we have got members who have been with me since the very start. So 11 years now. And they'll probably argue that the fitness hasn't improved. I disagree. I'm joking, they have. Or it could be something simple as they have to exercise so they can eat. I'll touch on that a bit later on, because in a second we've got a bit of a longer walk. Now, part of the both bog and mini bog run, they filter into each other. Now we are now at the top of the T-junction. So, for both the mini bog and the bog, they will enter onto this track here at the same time. Okay, and then they filter up to one, so at the T-junction, and that route takes us then back to the car park. So everyone then comes in on the same route back into the car park. So in theory, the bog run, the mini bog run, and the reverse P run all filter into here and go back to the car park, which is a great way to get everybody included in the session, but no pressure of this point A to B training. It's not effective enough. If I have to say to a class of 10 or 15, okay guys, I need everyone down there, which is about 700 meters away, and they all have to run at the same time, and they all have to go off together, fundamentally, it's wrong in that there will always be somebody feeling like they're being left behind, or they'll be feeling like they are, or somebody will be at the front and feeling like they're waiting. And it can be demoralising in two senses of you feeling like you're left behind, or you're always having to wait and you're not working hard enough. So having these looped runs, these bespoke numbers on hills, are really, really effective, because everyone in the same session gets to work really, really hard. But for those of the members that are struggling, we can always focus, when people are on their runs and hills, or more rehabilitative work, introduction to some new exercises. Somebody might be coming back from an injury and they want to reintroduce their running. Safely, the best to do that is on the flat. Our tracks, there's no tarmac. It's very soft underfoot. So it's a really nice and easy way to progress and bring people back into some running or jogging to suit them. And I touched upon a few bits earlier, and I was saying about how some people train for different reasons. We really do. We have got different groups across the day. We have very early morning sessions, we have mid-morning sessions, and we have evening sessions. On our other site of ours, we have lunchtime sessions as well. So we cater across the day at over 20 sessions a week. And what's really good with every session is that people are there for different reasons, but they're all like-minded. So they enjoy having the social side as well as the physical side. They enjoy catching up on their runs whilst they're training, and I allow that. I like the idea that people are coming both for the mind and the body. I think it's really important, and I do encourage it, but at the same time you are here to improve your fitness. So I'm not going to let you just walk and talk for an hour. You are going to work, but we do it in a way to suit everyone. So I'm now coming down hill 3. We are effectively now taking ourselves onto the other side of the estate. This loop that I'm walking with you today is about 1 kilometre. And there's several different ridges. We won't have time to go through all of them, but I want to take you onto ones which I feel are probably the best to be on, so you can understand the variety that we can offer with Fit Club. So taking yourself up onto another ridge now, and I can show you again the ease of being able to show you how we can add sessions within sessions to cater for everyone. So we're onto another ridge, having just walked up onto it. Let me just spin the camera for you. Okay, so I'm up on a ridge now, and this here has been come to known as kind of our exit hill. So everyone always makes their way down here. Then they come up here on hill 1, or they can come up on hill 2. Moving along the ridge, they can come up hill 3, or we have here hill 4. This is all coming off this flat area here. This is one of my favourite areas to train, because we have the flat area where we can do our floor work with press-ups, squats, lunges, good strength work. We can get down onto the actual floor for the core work and work on building core stability and core strength. But when the time comes and we're about to move people onto the cardio side, I can say to people, right, you've got hill 1 only. Take their time, there's plenty of space. They make their way down, they come up hill 1, they're done. That might be enough to work them. Or I can say, right, you guys, you've got 4 hills. And in the time I've given somebody to do 1, they have to do their 4. With that, everyone's working in the same space. Everyone's finishing in the same area. And everyone feels like they're just working together. And there's none of this point A to point B, or having to wait around, or having to slow anyone up. It's non-existent, it doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong, not very often am I having to put somebody onto 1 hill with others on 4. If I find that I've misjudged it, straight away again I go, oh, they're only on hill 3, you've got time to do hill 1 again, or even onto hill 2. So it's very adaptable even within the session. It's a really good way of training. So what I'm taking you down now is down what we've now come to call hill 2. And by naming all of the hills and making them really recognisable, I can tell, especially my more experienced members who've been with me for a long time, exactly where to run. So if I say from an area on one of the ridges, guys, you need to go down, complete hill 2 and then run back to the ridge, I can. And in that time, I will have other members with me and we can do some other work. So especially in the times that we're in with COVID and the worry of social distancing and group sizes, and obviously with everything changing so quickly, I have to very quickly adapt, getting my group sizes small and making sure we keep the distance. But with an estate that we have access to 500 acres, it's pretty easy, to be honest with you. We have the ability to have hundreds of people. We don't. Even before COVID, I decided a long time ago that to keep a personal touch on the way that we like to train, 15 members a session is our max. I'd say around at the moment, we are hovering in pods of 5. So we are able to keep to our social distancing really quite well. So I've just walked down hill 2, taking you now onto hill 1. So again, just keeping them simple but very recognisable. So this here is hill 1. Now this is a very steep hill, but you can run it, you can jog it, you can walk it, depending on what suits you. So if you, as the person that's attending, but want to give it a try, my suggestion, always walk it, get your feet used to it, and when you come down, be sure-footed and take your time. There's no rush. People will work around you as they know that's how I like for people to work with new people coming into the sessions. Now it's very easy on a nice sunny day to make Somerley Estate seem very appealing, but it is. It is fantastic. The access we have to different routes and runs is phenomenal. As you can see, I'm coming right back into the sun now, and we're on to one of our biggest greens that we use, and it's come to known as circular trees, and the circular trees green. Just going to flip the camera again here, and that's here, look. So this here is actually our circular trees. There's a nice steady loop all the way around. It's probably not even 50, 60 metres. And we can use here, and we can use on the green. So again, we have a nice area for core work and for any flat runs necessary. So when we are here and we have the work around the circular trees, I can from here tell people to go and use hill 1, hill 2, hill 3. They can go up over the ridge of hill 2 and come down onto hill 3. Anybody that needs to can do a flat run and work around the circular trees. So again, I've got access to multiple different runs of all different degrees of difficulty and length, so that if I get it right, which I should, having been doing it for 11 years, I can get people coming back together and no one's going to have the worry of struggling being left behind, which is so important with somebody coming into a group environment and feels that they are already a little bit skeptical on coming back to exercise or starting exercise. They want to feel like they're doing well and inclusive of the group and not holding anyone back. We are now making our way back down the track into the car park. I've shown you probably about half of the areas that we can use. To add in a few by name, we have a sandhill run, we have a 2.5 and a 3k run. That 2.5 can easily be skipped to a 2k run. Purely by having the estate and all the different trails and the runs, I'm able to put people on them if people are here to improve on their stamina. Sometimes it's just nice to throw them onto them, and people do well because we have the groups and they're running together to spur each other on. With that and the groups, we do have a really good social bunch. Everyone gets on with each other, they're very supportive, and you do not have to worry about the whole, oh, I'm going to slow anyone up, I'm struggling. I once had, quite recently, a lady join, and she said, being for her a plus-sized woman, straight away she had the worry of not having any other women similar to her training, and losing that kind of like-minded thought process of others. And it took her 6 months to jump that hurdle and actually message and start her trial. And she said it's easy now, and in hindsight it's a wonderful thing looking back, because as soon as she entered she realised what a friendly bunch we actually did have, and how lovely everyone is. And actually, because there is none of the you got to get there first and you got to get back first, it's a very inclusive way of training. It left her mind quite quickly, and she was running and improving her runs and introducing hills that which I was surprised by how quickly she was, in the sense of how some new people come in and they take their time. She didn't. She cracked on. She went for it. It was fantastic. You have guys coming in who are starting exercise, legitimately starting exercise for the first time in their life in their 50s, and they're joining our early morning bloke session, which is at 6:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sticking to it. 5 years now, having never started exercise before, ever. And he's one of the team. So I know that there's skepticism. I know that there's people sitting on the fence, and I hope that this video can break that and give you the chance to bring yourself back in to the idea of starting a trial with us. It's 1 week, it's completely free, no contract if you do want to sign up, and no obligation to sign up. Now, we have just done a 1 kilometre walk around. We are now back into the car park, and I just want to finish by saying we have plenty of facilities. We have got fresh drinking tap, we have got toilets, and we have got cabins, shall we say, for changing. No showers. But come for the hour, train, enjoy it, introduce yourself to something a bit different, and hopefully it's something that you might see yourself doing for the foreseeable future. If you want more information, visit our website, forestfitclubs.com. There's plenty of more information on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page. But of course, you've got direct messages through Facebook and direct messages through Instagram for any more information. But thanks for joining us, those of you that have. I'll be keeping the video for future use and for people to view separately if they weren't able to see us live today. Thanks, guys.